Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is WonderGuardBKR, and here we are, more Sun and Moon reveals. We've obviously seen it in the leaks, everybody's seen it before. This is actually my first news report on Sun and Moon kind of thing, so let me know how I do. But new stuff has been officially revealed, including all 3 of the new starters, which is what we're going to take a look at first. So first up, we've got Decidueye, I don't know, but it's the final evolution of Rowlet, which I'm super excited about. And suddenly he's jumped from being, I think they were all, grass flying. Everyone was grass flying. Rowlet and Dartrix were grass flying. Suddenly switched to grass ghost, which is insane. It's crazy. We have seen this type before, obviously, with like Phantump and Trevenant and Pokemon like that. But it's awesome to see that another Pokemon is getting that treatment in the animation as well. I can't show anything for copyright reasons, but in the trailer, those little toggles, these little toggles right here, they he like pulls them and it tightens his hood, and I think that's really cool. Like, I like that it's like a hoodie rather than like leaves, even though it is leaves, but it's a hoodie. He does get the ability Overgrow, which is kind of to be expected. Most starter Pokemon that are grass do get the ability Overgrow. I don't know if he's going to have any hidden abilities, it's not been shown yet, but he looks pretty crazy, and he stands tall at 5'03", so not tall at all. Shorter than most people, probably taller than your 10-year-old character though. He is known as the Arrow Quill Pokemon. Arrow Quill Pokemon. He seems really cool though. I really like his bio, so we're gonna have a quick read through. He's able to move about, completely masking his presence from others. Once an opponent has lost sight of it, Decidueye seizes the chance to attack it unawares. In a tenth of a second, Decidueye plucks an Arrow Quill from within its wing and sends it hurtling towards its target. So not only does it draw it within a tenth of a second, it can draw it back and fire it within that tenth of a second, which is insane speed. So we can be pretty confident that he's gonna have a base speed stat that's pretty insane, and I'm assuming he's probably gonna be a special hitting Pokemon, that kind of thing. I feel like he's gonna be much better as a special hitter, whereas the same with the with Popplio, in that I feel like Litten's final will be a physical attacker though. It says that he can fire acrobatic curved shots, which are just absolutely nuts, and it seems some are also able to shoot arrows that reach up throughout the sky, only to come drilling down from above, piercing multiple targets one after another, which it leads me to believe that he's going to have a multiple hitting attack, kind of like Swift, and I'm hoping that it's a multiple hitting attack but not one that hits your team, so it'll be effective in triple battles and double battles for damage dealing an entire team. That could be really cool. He seems he's definitely my favorite starter, guys, I have to be honest. He does get Spirit Shackle, which is a ghost type physical move that only Decidueye can learn. An opponent hit with this move will become unable to flee from battle or switch out for an ally. So even though most starters, and I say most because obviously you've got Greninja and Charizard, but most starter Pokemon aren't competitively viable, I feel like Decidueye is shaping up to be very competitively viable, and I'm excited to see where he goes with this. And I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited for this guy. I mean, I know you guys probably are too. One thing I did want to cover about him though, actually, was that a lot of people have pointed out that Rowlet looks a lot like Harry Potter from the with the big goggles, you know, and from the original movie, Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone, if you're in the Americas. I mean, a lot of people have pointed out that he looks a lot like Harry Potter. And then the second one looks like, I'm gonna get this wrong and everyone's gonna hate me, but I think it was the 9th Doctor. But, you know, hate me if you want. And he looks like Doctor Who, right? And then people are pointing out that Decidueye is a lot like Robin Hood. All 3 of those characters, Robin Hood, Harry Potter, and Doctor Who, are all 3 very prominent British fictional characters. I think it's awesome that they've gone that route, and it does definitely seem that way, that they are all based on these different people. Okay, so next up, we are seeing Primarina. I'm going to call it Primarina, and here's my reasoning, okay? Everyone, or a few people that I've seen, have been calling it Primarina, and I get it because prime, you know, that is where the word comes from. However, I feel like it's based on the word prima donna, so I feel like it's, you know, Primarina. Prima donna, get it? But either way, it's known as the soloist Pokemon, which means if it's competitively viable, I assume that it'd be better in single battles. Maybe that's just a wild accusation, but it's possible. And it is a water fairy type, which I think everybody expected. That's not really anything surprising. Although its height, it's almost a foot taller than Decidueye. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The weight's pretty accurate. I mean, it looks fairly skinny. No, it looks like a pretty big Pokemon. But if you actually take a look at its torso, it does look fairly slim. He looks awesome. I'm saying he, but it's clearly a female-based Pokemon, even though there will be male versions of it, you know. It does get the ability Torrent, again, a move that we see pretty much every single water type starter get, an ability that we see them get, and it definitely is the same with this one. I'm hoping again that he'll get a cool secondary ability, hidden ability. So I'm hoping these guys get all new hidden abilities that only these guys have ever had. Not that they will only be the only Pokemon that have it, because I want more Pokemon to have it in the future, but I just mean a new ability that we haven't seen before. I think that'd be really, really cool. So it does say here that Primarina releases balloons of water into the area around itself, moving themselves using the sound waves from its voice, which is crazy. I mean, I guess seeing as it's based on a siren, obviously, which is actually what I thought the type would be, the category would be a siren Pokemon, but it's obviously based on a siren, and sirens are known for singing and luring in pirates, so having it as a sound-based Pokemon seems really cool. I'd really like to see this Pokemon learn moves like Uproar and Round, and obviously Disarming Voice, those kind of moves, the Disarming Voice being the fairy one, just because it seems like it's going to be like a Loudred Pokemon, you know, a very audio-based Pokemon, and I think that it could really utilize a lot of those moves very, very well. It does say here that since Primarina controls its balloons using its voice, any injury to its throat can become a grave problem. Now, with that, I actually feel like that will be an episode in the anime. I think they're going to come across a Primarina at some point, probably in like season 3 or something like that, when they actually come across the final evolutions, but I feel like it's definitely going to be an episode where they come across one that like needs some like cough drops or like some like lockets or something like that. Just moving on, we see that the balloons that Primarina releases, some explode when touched, while others do not. Primarina jump on the non-exploding balloons while they make a sport of their opponents, and they use the exploding variety to trigger chained explosions. So again, a very special attacker, as I kind of expected. I'm hoping to see some very unique moves with these balloons. Although I feel like it might come out with kind of Froakies Frubbles kind of thing, like it's going to be used a lot in the anime, not so much in the game, but I'm hoping there is something in the game that we get to see. Some extra moves and that kind of thing. I mean, actually, no, you know what? I feel like this definitely has to be some of its moves, because I mean, if you read this next bit, Primarina's songs have many variations, and each one changes the motions of the balloons. It has been observed that the songs are shared among Primarina living together, so different colonies end up knowing different songs. And then, obviously, we now have Sparkling Aria, which is Primarina's special ability. It's a unique move that only Primarina can learn. And it heals the burns of any targeted strike, so it does water damage and it heals the burns. So it's like a reverse Scald. It's like Scald except it removes burns, which again I feel like it's going to work out really well competitively. You could use it with a Pokemon that has Water Absorb, meaning that you could heal that Pokemon by actual health and remove any burns it might have, which would be really cool against a Pokemon that knows Will-O-Wisp, like Ninetales or something like that. You know, I think that's a really competitively viable strategy, and I think that's going to be really, really cool to see. And last but not least, we are moving on to Incineroar, the most controversial starter in this pack. Everybody hates him, everybody loves him, except nobody loves him. But my friend Carl actually, Carl Delete, I'll link his channel in the description, we've done a couple videos together in the past. He actually says that he hates this Pokemon. He hates it, but Litten is his favourite starter. I think he's actually considering getting a Litten, evolving it into Torracat, and just keeping it as a Torracat. But the more I've seen about Incineroar, especially like his shiny, the more I've seen, the more I like him. And in the original leaks, I hated him. I'll be honest. But I mean, just this image, this one image right here that we're seeing, is actually, it's almost making me want to start with a Litten, which I might do in my Moon playthrough. I'm going to be playthroughing Sun with a Rowlet, obviously, but I will be getting Moon as well, so I'll probably pick up a Litten there. I was going to get 2 Rowlets, but I mean, I think I'm going to go with Incineroar. I think I'm going to go and get a Incineroar now. I really think that's going to be a really good Pokemon to have. Contrary to a lot of belief, actually, this is not a firefighting Pokemon. Everybody thought it's a wrestler, it's going to be firefighting. We've already seen so many firefighting starter Pokemon in the past with Cumbuskin, Blaziken, Pignite, and Infernape, and I mean, out of 7 generations, 3's insane to have. Am I missing anybody? No, that is all the firefighting types. And firefighting types seem to be very prominent in starters. I mean, to have 3 firefighting types out of 7 lots of starters, when there is only, I mean, it's 18 types they could pick from, and they made 3 firefighting. I mean, that's 9 Pokemon, that's crazy. He is actually the tallest, along with Primarina standing at 5'11", but he weighs 100 pounds more. I mean, you can see why. I mean, this guy is jacked. His ability is Blade. Everyone kind of saw that coming. Again, it's the fire type ability for starters. Want to see what his hidden ability is, but we're going to jump into his bio now, learn a little bit more about Incineroar. Hopefully some of you will change your minds about him, because I personally have fallen in love with him, and I'm probably going to be picking him up over Poplio, which was the one I was going to pick for me. So, I mean, as its fighting spirit increases, the flames that Incineroar produces within its body burst from its navel and waistline. Okay, waistline, yeah, because he's got the belt, but his belly button? It's gonna shoot flames out of his belly. I mean, I guess his belly button would be burning that fire, but that's crazy. Since the flames somewhat resemble a championship belt, they're known as its flame belt. Flame belt, maybe that's the ability. Maybe it's the ability that he gets. Maybe it kind of increases special attack with fire damage. Maybe. That would be a kind of cool ability to see, flame belt. And the Pokemon. Or maybe, actually, Flame Belt, because it's a championship, you know, it's a championship belt, maybe it's kind of like Moxie. And when he defeats a Pokemon, his special attack fire types get stronger because of Flame Belt, because he's like won that championship. You know, maybe it's kind of works like that. I'd like to see that. I think that'd be really cool. Let me know what you guys think. And the Pokemon unleashes its moves that use flames from it. In the heat of battle, Incineroar shows no concern for its opponents, and even sometimes launches attacks that strike the opposing trainer. This guy hits the trainer? What? As a result, many tend to dislike this Pokemon and keep it at a distance. I mean, you guys were right. Clearly, you were right not to like this Pokemon. Maybe I've changed my mind again. Okay, so that's interesting. It says, if a crowd watching it battle is pumped up, Incineroar's fighting spirit will burn brighter, but a lackluster crowd can make it lose focus or fight shoddily. I wonder if that will come into effect, like maybe at Pokemon Leagues and gyms he'll do better, but out in the wild he doesn't. I don't know, but maybe that could be his other ability as well. You never know. Maybe he works better in like well-populated environments. That's kind of nice. I mean, the next part says, when it receives admiration from young Pokemon and children, it may keep its cold attitude on the outside, but in its heart of hearts, Incineroar is immensely happy, and it loses desire to fight when faced with a Pokemon that's clearly weak or injured, and sometimes gets taken advantage of as a result. So even though he does hit trainers, he's a kind-hearted Pokemon. He seems like he's very loving, caring, and he could be a really cool companion Pokemon to have. And I'd actually like to see Ash get a Litten in the thingy, as he's had too many water and grass types in my opinion, and I'd like to see him have another fire type in the anime. I think that'd be really cool. Darkest Lariat is his dark type physical move that only Incineroar can learn, and it allows Incineroar to deal damage while ignoring the effects of any stat changes that the target might otherwise be affected by. And if you haven't seen the video, go watch it. He's basically a spinning top, and it's pretty crazy. So I mean, that was the 3 starter Pokemon, but there's still more to it. We're moving on now to the Tapus, who were also announced in this video. And we're going to be seeing them. I mean, everyone's already seen them, but we're going to get some more information on them. And, I mean, I'm super excited to see these guys. Okay, so we're actually going to start with Tapu Koko. Everybody already knows Tapu Koko. He was announced months and months and months ago. Basically, when Sun and Moon were announced, he was announced in a gameplay demo. And he's just the one everybody knows, but I figured I need to include him as there are 4 Tapus, and I feel like we should quickly go over all of them. He is the Electric Fairy. All of them are Fairy types, and they all have a primary type. So Fairy is a secondary type of every single one. And I think it's really cool. He's really tall, actually. I thought he was a lot shorter than that. He's 5'11", which is pretty crazy. His ability is Electric Surge. Everybody basically knows that. He looks really cool, and he does get a Z move, which I will go over in a second, because he shares it with all of the others. Okay, so we're going on to probably... Nah, it's not my favorite, but it's my second favorite, definitely, of the Tapus, which is Tapu Fini, which is the Water Fairy type, which is the same type as Primarina, which is pretty crazy. But he's a lot shorter than the other ones. His ability is Misty Surge. I'm not going to talk about these guys too much, because I feel like I already spoke about the starter Pokemon a lot, but I will go over their abilities. Tapu Fini's ability is Misty Surge, an ability that no Pokemon has previously had. With Misty Surge, the field will be turned into misty terrain where Tapu Fini appears in battle, halving the damage taken by Pokemon on the ground from Dragon-type moves, and preventing them from being afflicted with status conditions or confusion. Which is crazy. I mean, Fairy types are already invulnerable to Dragon, and then anybody on his team is now also going to be half damage to Dragon? I mean, I feel like that's a really powerful move for him to have. And then next up is the Tapu Lele, which is the Psychic Fairy type, which is, I believe, the smallest of all of the Tapus, and he's really cool. I mean, I do like it. I feel like almost like a hermit crab. Yeah, they all have this defensive shell. But I do like Tapu Lele's design. It's not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite of the Tapus actually, but I still like it. I don't dislike it in any way. So Tapu Lele's ability is Psychic Surge, which is basically the same as Misty Surge, but it makes it into a Psychic terrain, boosting the power of any Psychic type moves used by Pokemon on the ground and preventing them from being hit by priority moves, which is actually surprisingly important against enemies with Fake Out and chip damage and stuff like that. You know, it's gonna be very useful for preventing that from happening. Actually, it's gonna be a lot more useful than I actually thought it would be. I mean, preventing them from being hit by priority moves is actually pretty crazy. I mean, it's pretty cool stuff for him to have. I'm pretty excited about this guy too. I'm not too excited about this guy. I'm gonna catch him, obviously. I'm probably gonna go for the shiny form too at some point, so if you're interested, I will be streaming that. And last but not least is my personal favorite, Tapu Bulu, which is the grass fairy type, which is... I don't think we've seen that before. We probably have. I'm probably lying to you all. But, oh yeah, Whimsicott. Whimsicott the Grass Fairy? I'm pretty sure. But either way, he gets Grassy Surge, which is an ability, again, that no Pokemon has previously had. With Grassy Surge, the field will be turned into grassy terrain when Tapu Bulu appears in battle, boosting the power of any grass-like moves used by Pokemon on the ground, and restoring a bit of HP to them each turn. It also halves the damage taken from the moves Earthquake, Magnitude, and Bulldoze, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's a pretty big move to have, and it's one of the reasons he's my favorite. This guy basically has a built-in leftovers. He doesn't need to hold leftovers, meaning that you could give this guy a life orb and still do damage and then still regain health afterwards. I don't know how good he'll be in competitive battling, but I really feel like he's going to be very good in casual battling, and I'm definitely going to put one of these on my casual team for sure, just because I mean look at him. He's absolutely awesome. He looks hugely tanky. He's probably going to have a ton of health, quite slow, probably quite a lot of damage, but I can go over all of the bios in another video if you would like, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so here we are with Tapu Koko's, Tapu Lele, Tapu Fini, and Tapu Bulu's Z-move. They have the Z-move Guardian of Alola, which looks a lot like this guy from Mega Man, but I'm assuming the color will change for each Tapu. We've only seen Tapu Koko actually use it. As the Guardian deities of Alola, the Tapu can use his special Z-move Guardian of Alola. When it using this Z-move, the Tapu close their shells and a huge avatar appears from the ground to attack the opposing Pokemon, dealing damage equal to 75% of the target's remaining HP. So this move can never kill. This move can never ever kill, because if they've got one HP left, you're not going to hurt them. Maybe you will, maybe it'll just finish them off, but if they have 1 HP, going by what this says with the dealing damage that equal to 75%, I feel like it's not ever going to kill them. What I thought was really cool is obviously the Z-moves have all the dancing moves, they make it all fancy with all the dancing and stuff like that, but the trainer actually, he lifts his fist ready to strike down, and then the trainer slams the hand down into her fist down into her hand, and he punches the floor. So it really shows more of that kind of bond. It reminded me a lot of Zords? Yeah, Zords from Power Rangers, where they would move inside the Zords and the Zords would move their arms and legs, and it would be really cool. So guys, there were more things revealed in that video, which I'm going to go over in another video, just because I feel like it's a little bit separate to what we've just talked about with the new Pokemon. But obviously you can see all 6 of the Pokemon that I've gone over today. Right there, we've got Decidueye, Incineroar, Primarina, Tapu Lele, Tapu Bulu, and Tapu Fini. All there, looking great, looking clean, and I cannot wait to get all of these Pokemon on my team and in my Pokedex. And I hope you guys have a great time playing this game. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and remember to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, if you felt like you learned a little bit about the characters. Remember to subscribe if you want to see more Sun and Moon news in the future. And that's it, guys, so I'll see you guys in the next episode.